Welcome to Creepy Joe's Horror Show! With special guest, Slip Rick the Skeleton.
It's not my fault the babes like me, man.
Also, Flo. And don't forget about your legendary loser host himself, Creepy Joe.
Welcome to Creepy Joe's Horror Show. Tonight we have Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things from 1972.
16s use a corpse in a satanic ritual that brings the dead back to life.
Alright, I'm not going to keep repeating this title because it's really long and it's one more time. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things from 1977. I really liked this movie, and you know, as cheesy as it was, it had a lot going for it. But it's directed by Bob Clark, the late Bob Clark. He actually passed away in a car accident. And then this cast is really weird. I don't know who any of these characters are, but it's the first movie that I've done where all their names are like the same in real life. I mean, their last names might be a little bit different, but the main character, which he's kind of like an asshole, and he's kind of like the leader of the group, Alan Ormsby, and his name in the movie is Alan as well. And then you have Anya Ormsby, and her name in the movie is Anya. So it's weird. And they obviously they're either related or husband and wife in real life. I don't know. I didn't research it because I wouldn't be able to find it anyway. There's like hardly anything on this movie. It's just that old that a lot of these actors and actresses didn't go anywhere, so they're just, you can't even find pictures of someone. All right, and then you have Jane Daly playing Terry, Valerie Manches playing Val, Jeff Gillen playing Jeff, Bruce Solomon playing Wins.
I peed my pants. Listen, my nose is bleeding.
I guess the basis of this movie is there's 6. This isn't going to take very long because, you know, there's a lot goes on, but it's a lot of like kind of waiting around for something to happen. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, the group of 6, I don't even know what they're like in like drama club or something. I mean, they're not, but it's some sort of like, they're actors or actresses, what, like they are in plays. That's from what I took from it.
There's a light ahead. What is it? That's the graveyard.
The dialogue was kind of rough. You couldn't hear certain things, kind of like these videos. You know, sometimes you can't hear anything I'm saying. So it was like a situation like that where I couldn't really. It was a little rough to follow. It was, you know, a lot of the scenes were really dark, and you didn't even know who was talking or what was going on. Because they're just, you know, it's old, and it was a horror movie with a very, very low budget from what I can see. And but they made an awesome movie out of it. So that's kind of like the negative, but it's there is a positive. It turned out to be badass, and I highly recommend it. So they go into this cemetery, the 6 of them, to perform a satanic ritual to bring the dead back to life.
Oh, great diviner, master of the 3 worlds.
And they dig up this corpse and have him hanging on a fake-looking styrofoam-looking cross. And then they, you know, say this spell or whatever, and it like doesn't seem to work. So then they're in the gravekeeper's house, and they're having a fire, and you know, they take the dead corpse of Orville, the dead body, back with them.
Begin.
And then, I mean, there's not much more to it other than the whole cemetery comes back alive. And I mean, it's pretty awesome, you know, how they make them look. It reminds me like Thriller. You know, I mean, and then they're boarding up the house. They're trying to keep them from getting in, and then they stop and they start taking them out one by one. One might get grabbed and then murdered. And, yeah, and they're zombies, so they're eating, you know. Now remember, Return of the Living Dead wasn't out yet, so this was before brains were eaten. They were just eating like stomachs and, you know, whatever. Just like in Night of the Living Dead, because the brains didn't start until Return, so, you know. But anyway, yeah, so they're just basically picking them off one by one, and then at the end, they try to read a passage out of the satanic book that they have of spells or whatever to, you know, unconjure them and send them back.
It's working.
Return and sleep. Return.
To sleep or whatever, and it doesn't work, man. And everybody ends up getting killed except for the main asshole, Alan. And he barricades himself in a room, and the dead corpse that he married in the ceremony and put in there, Orville, ends up being the one that kills him. He was so mean to Orville when he was dead and calling him all these names and saying basically like, I'm just gonna put you on display in my house till all your limbs fall off, then I'm gonna feed you to my dog. And now he's regretting it because he ended up getting eaten by him. So that's the movie, and I don't really want to go into any more detail about it, but like about scene for scene or anything like that, but I will say, okay, the things I liked about it the most was the makeup, like the props and stuff. I love that like old style gritty looking special effects. The real special effects, even if it makes it look faker, I still like the effort of making things look real, with real objects, not CGI. And this was before CGI, so you're gonna have that. And it was great. The kills were good. There was some, you know, it got bloody a couple times. The storyline, you know, it's kind of dumb, but I mean, it worked, you know what I mean? It almost, like, it brought some, like, it was like Night of the Living Dead on acid, if that makes sense. It's like the 70s version of Night of the Living Dead, you know, with some weird aspects. There's a girl in there that's like really weird and is always...
What people perceive as evil in ghosts and spirits is only a reflection.
Like, the dude's pants are like, they look like clown pants. Like, I think he was a clown before he became a leader of some satanic cult. I don't know, man, but it was bizarre and it was good. I'm glad I watched it. This is a movie that I've been putting off for a very long time. And, you know, I still have like 4 or 5 more spots to fill before Halloween. So I figured I would knock this out and I'd get to see it for myself. And, you know, it's one of those movies, it's a classic. A lot of people have heard of it, but I just skip by it constantly. And I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. Almost a 4, man. I really did enjoy it, but like some of the shit was so dry and stupid but the good stuff in the movie made up for the bad, and it's worth watching. So every movie that I'm doing this month, every movie that I've done is free on Tubi. So literally after watching these reviews, if it sounds interesting enough, you can watch it for free. You don't have to pay money to rent it. And that was the whole point of Octubi Fest. I wanted to do 31 days of horror and all of it be free, so that, you know, anyone watching can just go watch it. You know, as long as you have internet access and you have the app, you can watch on your phone, whatever. But thanks for hanging out. Stay tuned for tomorrow night and stay creepy.
Prop him up against the crucifix.